Some time ago I said I'm leaving Arch forever, and I finally got the time to actually switch from it. The distribution that I choose to switch to is NixOS, because there are really not that much options, although Linux has hundreds of distributions, but they are all pretty much the same. And the reason I chose NixOS is because, as I understood it, you just write some scripts and then you can install your system with all the configurations with just practically one command. So since I never used NixOS before, I of course went to YouTube to search for some guides, and I saw a lot of people mention VIMJOYER, and he does have a lot of videos about NixOS. However, his videos are mostly just screenshots and there is a lot of information at once, and I like when somebody explains me with showing what he's actually doing and what is the result. And this is exactly what LibrePhoenix does in his videos. I plan to watch all his videos about NixOS, and then as I configure some stuff on my computer, I will make a video probably shorter than his on just what I did for myself. I highly recommend his videos because from what I saw, I didn't watch all of them, but the ones that I did, he's a really good teacher and he explains it in very simple way. I see that his last update was 5 months ago, but I hope he will come back and do some more of the stuff because I really don't know what I'm doing with NixOS. I did manage to set a basic functionality, and this is what this video is all about, in hopefully not so long format. If you have any questions, I am really not the person who you should ask, because this is my first time installing NixOS and I don't know practically anything about it. But I can share some experiences that I had so far. I started with NixOS just yesterday or day before. I don't know when I will edit this video. So if you have any recommendations for tutorials to watch or read, please let me know. I can use all the help I can get. The reason why I'm recording this video so early, when I still don't know almost anything about this system, is because there is a really lot of information that you need to know, and I know I will forget something if I don't sort of write it right away. That's why I will make videos about NixOS every time I learn something new and useful, so maybe it helps someone else as well. So here is what I got so far by watching LibrePhoenix videos and tutorials on the internet for some stuff that I didn't see him mentioning. First time you boot into NixOS, you will get screen like this and you can just start the installer. Here I must say that I couldn't make KDE installation to run for me, not on my computer, not in the virtual machine. So what I did is just install it from GNOME, and then I just chose the Plasma as my desktop environment. And here I checked allow on free software. This is just a normal Calamares install, so everything is the same just as on any Calamares install, and as you can see it will create by default boot partition with 500 megabytes and the rest will give to NixOS. I took a little more disk space than usual for virtual machine just because NixOS tends to get bigger the more stuff you install and the more customization you have. Then you just let the installation to finish, and yes, my installation stuck on 46% for a very long time, but if you keep it up it will install eventually. And when the installation is done you just restart. Then you log in and you are in a normal KDE Plasma environment. When you install it you will be on 6.0.5 and it will be on stable channel. NixOS you have stable versions that are just like point in time, like for instance Fedora has Fedora 40, 41 and so on. And then you have unstable, which is like a rolling release. As you can see I'm on channel 24.05, which is like a stable release, and you have multiple versions existing at the same time, and you can see on what channel you are with this command. So here I will be switching to unstable because I want the latest updates. I don't know how often they update these ones, and I don't want to bother with upgrading when new release is out. So to switch to unstable, you just type in this command, and I will leave the link for all the commands that I use in this video in my description. So now if I list on which channel I am, you can see I'm on unstable. And to upgrade all the packages to unstable version, you just type in this command, NixOS rebuild switch upgrade. When I switch to the new channel and upgraded all the packages, you can see that all packages are stored in the Nix store. Then you get a hash, and then you get a package. And when you want to run something, everything is symlinked to these packages. That's how you can have multiple versions of the same package in your installation. And no matter how much configurations you make, it won't duplicate the same package. It will just create a symlink to that package. I see it as you come to the warehouse and you just pick what you want whenever you want to boot something. So now that you have updated system, how do you install packages? You can go to your Etsy NixOS folder, and here you have two files, configuration.nix and hardware configuration.nix. Hardware configuration is automatically created for your hardware, and you never ever touch that file unless you know what you are doing. The file that you actually change is configuration.nix. So here you already have some predefined configuration, and this is where you change things, at least until you start with Flakes and Home Manager. So in your configuration.nix file, you have your hardware configuration nix file included. You have your bootloader. Here you can change the host name of your computer. I will just call mine Nikki. If you need a proxy, networking, here you can set your time zone if you didn't enter the correct one while installing the NixOS. Some other local settings. Here you can set up the boot manager, and I have Plasma 6 enabled. Here's the keyboard layout. You can change it if you want. And here are some other hardware settings. And here's the part where you define your user, the group for your user, and packages. Under your username, everything you write here will be installed only for your user. If you want to install a package system-wide, you put it here under environment system package. And what I did is just put all my packages here. And to see what is the name of the package that you can install, you can go to search.nix.org, and here you have to change to unstable channel if you installed unstable like me. And then you just type in the name of the package and then search, and it will give you all the packages available with that name. I will choose this one, and here you will have three options. Nix shell. This is, if I understood this right, this is just to temporarily install a package. NixOS configuration, this is where I put everything. So you just take the name and you leave the packages out because it's included here already. Then you just paste the name of the package. I forgot to mention NixEnv is something that you can look if you have Nix package manager installed on some distro or macOS, and these are the commands that you would use. And this part I never used, so I guess here it's explain what it does, but I'm not sure how that functions. But it doesn't matter. All you care is NixOS configuration and the name of the package. And then when you enter all the packages you can think of that you will need, you just save the file, and then you run again sudo NixOS rebuild switch. This is command that you have to run every time you change something in your configuration.nix file. And now it will read through configuration file and make the changes just like they are written in the configuration file. So for instance, if you removed some package and you edit some package, it will delete the symlink to deleted package and add a new one. And this might take some time depending on how much stuff you change in your configuration file. Since I put a lot of software to be installed, I will just get back when everything is finished. Now that I have installed all the packages and I restarted my computer, you can see that now I'm on KDE Plasma 6.2, which is the latest version as far as I know. I don't know if 6.2.1 is out yet. So another thing, if you look at the end of your config file, you can see that you can enable firewall here, and I will just put this to true. And you can also allow some ports through. For instance, if you have a local send or Verpinator, you might open some ports. So these two ports are for Verpinator and this one is for local send. If you don't know what those programs are, they are like an AirPlay on the Mac, meaning you can share your file files very easily with any computer, any mobile phone, and just about anything that has an operating system. And this system state version will always stay the same, so you know from which ISO file you installed, so you don't need to worry about this number. And then now you save the file and of course run sudo NixOS rebuild switch, just so the changes take place. And when this is done, you have your firewall up. There is one more thing that I want to do, and that is to change my shell. The default is bash and I just want to use fish, so I will just put it here with the programs. So to change the shell, you just enter this line. You can put fish here like this, or you can just add it here. I'll just comment this out because I don't need Firefox at the moment. The reason why I put it here is so later on I can just add aliases and maybe abbreviations. I will just see how that works later on. And you, of course, to run rebuild switch so the changes take place. I forgot that you also have to add it in under your user as shell equals package fish, and then it will be the default shell. And now if you look at your password file, you can see that your user has the default shell that you set up. But that's not all. Since I'm using console under my profile, I have to change here to fish as well. And this is the path that you want to add to any terminal emulator that you are using, being Alacrity, Kitty, or whatever. Click apply. Next time I run console, it's in fish. And there is another thing that I want to add to this installation. If you reboot your computer, you will see that you have here a lot of menus. Depending on how much you run that rebuild switch command, this will just pile up as more and more times you run that command, and it won't be cleaned automatically. And also, if you mess up something with your configuration, here is where you get back to the previous good configuration and started that, let's say, sort of image of symlinks that you were using. To list all those generation, you can just run this command and it will show you how much you have, and here it will show you some info when they were created, which kernel they are using, and the version of NixOS. Also, you can list all those generations in this path, and as you can see, those are just symlinks to files in the Nix store. The way you can delete them is to delete this symlink, or let's say the proper way is to just run this command, and you can put here any number of days you want. There are some other options that you can look up in their configuration, but if you run this, and what this does is deleting all the packages that are not used in your configuration and are older than 5 days. This is the manual way. Of course, you can put that in your configuration file, and I will just add these lines that I found somewhere on the internet. It should do the same thing. And of course, after that, you have to run that command rebuild switch. So this is the end for my first video about NixOS. So what have I done? I updated the system, put it on a rolling release. I added all the programs that I needed. I changed my fish shell. I set up the firewall. I set up the cleaning thingy. And this all is enough for you to get started with NixOS. You have everything that you need for your computer to work properly, and if you need to install some additional packages, you add them here and just run that rebuild switch command. The next things that I'm gonna focus are Flakes and Home Manager, but I don't know when I will make those videos because I guess it will take me a little time to figure all these things out. For now, this is enough for me to work further on my configuration, and as soon as I figure some things out, I will let you know in a video. The only things I couldn't get to work are local send and Verpinator, because even if I disable firewall, Verpinator doesn't see any other computer, and local send has some bug with Flutter. I'm not sure. I will just wait for a few days to see if that gets resolved. Otherwise, I will look how to install local send from the stable branch, because apparently you can have packages installed from from stable and unstable channel. I'm not sure if that is possible without flakes. This is all still new to me, and there are not that many quality videos that explain NixOS in a reasonable way with the information that I actually need. And that's all.